funny guy, and this is his podcast, In the Ride. It's the In the Ride podcast. Curt Fletcher.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. It's In the Ride podcast with Curt Fletcher. It's episode 45, and my guest today is my buddy Don Morgan. Say hi, Don Morgan.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Not that you can answer.
They can answer.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So Don, I've known Don for what, 10 years now? 11 years?
Yeah, about that. You were up here for a contest at Comedy Works.
Was it
Ron Ferguson?
Okay, was it the South Comedy Works?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the Bring It On contest.
Yep.
I think it was called.
Your car broke down.
Was it that day?
Was that the visit?
No,
it was
that was a different.
Yeah.
That was after I knew you a little bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Bring It On contest was fun. Mostly because everyone thought someone else was going to win and I won.
That was a good day.
So that was cool. I won that contest twice, which is really cool because you win like $150 and all you got to do is tell like 6 jokes,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It was a fun event. I think Deacon put that on too, right?
Yeah.
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 Deacon coordinated that. That was a good time.
Remember the other time at the South Comedy Works, when I came up here for a basketball game with my brother,
Yes.
and we were all in the green room, and Rick Kearns was looking at the list, and he goes, "Who the hell is Cunt Fletcher?"
I think about that probably once a week. I literally think about that once a week. It was so goddamn funny. You need to put that on merch.
Well, I was reminded of it yesterday because my sister sent me this TikTok video of this little girl. She was writing out "See you next Tuesday," but she wrote "See you in Tiana."
The kids go places.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when I met you, you were just starting comedy, right? Or had you already started?
So my memory's a little crap, but I think it was around 2010, 2011. And it started because of, I'd been going to Comedy Works a lot with the fishbowl stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going for free all the time, just drinking my ass off. Couldn't even tell you who I saw. Really started to enjoy it. Started hanging out with a couple of the comics, and one night, I believe it was Matt Baca, invited me and some friends over to the poorhouse with Glenn Wool.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
asking Glenn Wool about some of his jokes, and he's like, "Oh, are you a comic?" You know, because he probably gets that shit all the time. I was like, "No, I'm just a fan. You know, I'm too scared to do it." And I'm drunk. He's buying Old Bond whiskey, which is like $9 a shot, and I'm buying him Coors Lights in return, and we're having a good time. And before the night was over, he's like, "Hey man, just promise me you'll at least give it a shot once." And I like to think I'm a man of my word, so I held that promise. And the first show was maybe the end of 2010. It was a VFW or something, Aurora. Ron Ferguson had me host, and I ate a big pile of shit. First show, I can actually still remember who was on there. It was Vicky Egger, Derek Bolton, Chris Charpentier, myself, and Ron Ferguson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
And it was, okay, so you were hosting, wow.
Yeah, which was
Holy shit.
just more of Ron Ferguson's poor judgment.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother podcast, Ron, we could do.
It's Matt Baca's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Matt
Yeah,
Baca.
happy birthday.
I'm not a big Facebook guy anymore, so I do not know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Matt got mad at me for making a joke about him at a roast one time. I think I said something like, "Matt Baca's not here, but if you listen closely, you can probably hear him."
Comedians with thin skin, that's the best.
Yeah, so the next time he saw me, he's like, "You think I'm too loud?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit. You tone it down." But I love Matt. Super nice guy. Yeah.
He seems to be doing really well. I follow him
Yeah.
a lot on Instagram. It seems like he's working pretty consistently.
Yeah.
So that's really great.
Yeah, I think he's
a lot
doing
of
some acting and stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's always kind of been his passion. He was always very outgoing on stage.
Uh-huh.
So that was fun. He's a good dude.
Yeah, one of my main videos I use for festival submissions.
Yeah.
He's the MC on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you hear him all loud and shit.
He was there with us the night at the Tilted Kilt with Hot Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that asked the embarrassing questions to the waitress. Kinda. Yeah, it was fun.
Ah, man, I forgot about the Tilted Kilt.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
It was. I don't know if it's still there. I don't think it is.
Oh, really? Man, I haven't been down on 16th Street in so long, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So I used to live near there, and I was down there all the time. You know, I'd walk down there all the time, and there's always shows going on somewhere down there.
Yeah.
You know,
The street performers weren't super. I think they started to add more pre-COVID.
Uh-huh.
I haven't been down there in easily 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't have a reason to go downtown, so
Yeah.
I purposely avoid it.
Yeah.
I was anxious last night. Went to an open mic and was the traffic, parking, everything.
Oh, God, yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
That's why I hate performing in big cities. Like there's never any parking, and it's usually like a city I don't know very well, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And then you get through it all, and it's like, oh shit, this was a breeze. And the next time you're there, it's just that much easier.
Yeah.
You know to leave earlier or later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so your career actually, you know, like you're not doing much anymore, but like when you started though, you started getting some gigs right away. You know, through Ron Ferguson, and you know, I always tried to help you get gigs whenever I could.
Yeah. You know, I was pretty fortunate. My first 2 gigs were paid. Within the first 3 or 4 years of doing comedy, I maybe did 2 open mics, so nobody knew who I was, which really hurt me. But people like yourself, people like Ron Ferguson, they always, you guys always seem to like working with me. I think our materials blended well together, and in Ron's cases, I was willing to drive, so that helped out considerably. But yeah, my second show was Pine Top, Arizona, doing 30 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you do the full 30?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done a full 30.
I was just thinking that in my head too.
Yeah.
No, you've I think you have.
I've hit 29 pretty consistently at the winery in South Dakota. You've always been generous and booked me up there, and we've always had fun working up there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know, I see these comics with the open mics and doing shows 5 to 7 a week, and I was doing like 10 a year.
Uh huh.
But comedy wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was a real estate agent. I became a father right after, you know, starting comedy. And I remember driving home straight from laughs in Tucson. Drove all through the night to get home to my, at the time, stepdaughter's birthday, and my daughter had just been born. You know, a month before. So I drove, did all the shows, was visiting friends in Tucson because I was stationed there. Hoodie, when he was, you know, he's like, hey man, I know you got to run. I'll close out the last show. You can take off the headliner. So, you know, I got an extra hour heads up and drove my ass home. Had a good time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a long drive.
It was a long drive. It sucked. I think I've driven. No, I didn't come home after Pine Top. We stayed the night, but
yeah. That's probably my least favorite thing about comedy is all the driving now.
You know, I was with John Novosad, and we were driving to do the Bernalillo gig.
Oh yeah.
He's like, this is what we get paid for on these one-nighters, the fucking 9
Yeah.
hours in the car, not the material. The casinos don't give a shit who they put up there in some regard.
Uh-huh.
Like, some of it, I've been told, hey, I've been told by some of the people who've been on the road for a long time, some of these gigs are throwaway gigs, don't stress it.
Yeah.
Some of these gigs, like, they have to do so much entertainment to get tax credits and tax breaks. So he's like, stop stressing about it. But I never felt that way with Bernalillo. I always had a really good time down there.
Yeah.
At the end of the Mountain Gods, the crowds have always been superb.
You know what's funny is I every time I talk to someone about that place, they're like, "Oh, I hate that place."
Really?
It's like, really? I love it.
Yeah. I've always
I don't
had a
always
good time.
kill, but I always have a great time. You know, I don't think I've ever bombed there. Not that I remember, but I mean, I've always had a great time. Like I've always had fun with the crowds.
The crowds are always really. It's a lot of oil workers and oil
People from
executives
Texas.
when I go there. Yeah, and it just I find it to not be what you would think the normal casino crowd would be.
Yeah.
You know, where a lot of these guys are in from various work things, like you said, Texas and other states, and they really kind of want the entertainment.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're not sad because they lost a bunch of money on the table and they're just
Yeah.
coming in to take a break. They're coming in to see some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked Bernalillo. I had a good time.
Bernalillo's cool, yeah. I love the venue itself is fucking beautiful.
It's breathtaking.
That's one of my favorites, man. When it first started too, I don't know if you ever went down there when it was first starting out, but they used to pack like even the top level, and that was insane.
Man.
That was
No.
so cool.
I didn't get to participate in that. I don't think I probably went down there till 2015-ish.
Okay.
Maybe. Have you and I done it? I don't think we have.
I don't think so either. The first year it was going, I was living in Albuquerque, so I was hosting. So I would host like 3 or 4 times a year.
I know you came out because I have a picture of me, you, and Waylon on the
I did a
stage.
guest spot with you. You were
Yes.
performing with Carlos Valencia.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
we were all 3 there together.
Yep.
I met a really, really great friend and fellow comedian, Patrick Berry, down there.
Oh yeah.
So I got a call on a Tuesday from, it was a Funny Business, right?
Uh-huh.
And they said, hey Don, we had a feature follow-up. It was a super last minute. I got a call at like 1:30 in the afternoon. Like, can you get down here tomorrow? And per the norm, I hadn't been on stage for a few months. And I'm like, guys, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a solid 20 and a rocket 30, which not the best thing to say to a booker.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'll call you right back. She called me back. She's like, cool, you're in. Get down there. So I raced down there, and next morning I meet Patrick for our sound check, and he could tell I'm nervous. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't do a lot of comedy. I don't ever like my jokes. I'm just not a very confident person. He's like, dude, you're gonna fucking kill. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. And then we met you the next day.
Yeah.
His car was broke down. He was
Uh-huh.
having a real shitty day. I was trying to help him out, trying to stay calm and cool with him. And he had a great set. His car started the next day. And honestly, Patrick and I have kept in touch. It's been a little hit and miss last few years, which is with him not being on the road and not coming through Denver.
Yeah.
And he's just so busy. Like, I never want to bug him. I think he's on the road like 46 weeks out of the year.
For sure.
He's killing it. But yeah, Patrick was a blast to work with. And I think another time he's popped in while you were in town when I lived in Brighton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I sent his car, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mallory did too. That memory just popped up
Yeah.
on Facebook the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the last time I saw him, I think. Pretty
That
sure.
probably was. That's been
Yeah.
about easily 6 years.
Yeah.
7 years. Yeah. He stayed with me a few more times, but once I was not performing as readily, I didn't have the leverage to help him get more gigs
Uh-huh.
and stuff. Like I got him in the booth and we did that together. We had a lot of fun. That was a
Oh,
great
cool.
room.
I love that room.
Yeah, it was a few months after you were supposed to do it, and I think it got canceled because of snow, right?
I did one night. We did Friday night, it was me and Steve McGrew, and then the next night it got canceled because
Yeah.
of a blizzard. So we got really high and watched Tusk,
Nice.
the worst movie
Yes.
on the planet, and 22 Jump Street, I think it was, or maybe 21 Jump Street.
It was probably 22 with Ice Cube and
Yeah.
when Schmidt's fucking the captain's daughter.
Yeah.
That was one of the best scenes I've seen in a long time.
I think that might have been the first time I ever had an edible, possibly. One of the first times for sure.
That makes sense.
Because I remember taking the edible and watching Tusk and just fucking being so miserable. And then the next day, I was supposed to record a podcast in Boulder before my show, and I was still high from the.
That was with
from the
Jacob
edible.
Rupp, right? Did you
Yeah.
hear him? Yeah.
Oh, it was Cody Spiker.
Cody Spiker, yes.
Yeah.
That was I think I just sent you a picture of Tusk the other day.
You did, yeah.
My brain can't remember.
God. I
details.
kind of want to watch it sober, but I kind of also don't.
Well, if you want to get depressed,
Not really, no.
that movie was horrible.
I remember being so disappointed. And because it's a Kevin Smith movie, I love Kevin Smith movies
I didn't
mostly.
even know that.
Yeah.
And Justin Long is such a great actor, but
Oh, there's some great actors in that movie. And it was a cool fucking idea, I thought. But yeah, it just, I remember you pointed out how predictable it was at the beginning. And then just from there, it was just shit.
yeah. That was a rough one to get through.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the premise. I think I remember him finding some odd phone number at a bar. His career wasn't going well, or something to that effect. Maybe he was a journalist.
A podcaster, maybe?
Something.
He might have been on a podcast.
Yeah, and he called that guy, and it just went off the rails from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're watching this and you've never seen Tusk, don't watch it. Have you seen Squid Game on Netflix?
I have not.
Holy shit, that was good.
What is it?
I don't want to give it away, but so me and my cousin started watching it the other day. We were gonna watch the first episode and see what it was like, and we're like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. We watched the entire series that night.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
yeah,
I loved it.
newer?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so it's set in I think South Korea, and the main character's like going through a lot of like money troubles and stuff, and owes debts to people, and so he gets selected to join this game, and whoever can complete the 6 games wins a shit ton of money.
Awesome.
But they don't know what the games are.
So it's like
So there's like 450 to 500 people who join, and then after the first game, everyone's like, "Fuck this."
Oh shit. But it's not like a saw. There's no consequences when you don't pass or don't.
Well,
I mean,
there are.
You said you don't want to give it away.
You get eliminated.
Permanently? Like royally?
You'll just have to watch it.
Okay.
I really don't want to give it away. It's
All right.
fucking good though. I loved it.
Right.
It's really dark, but it's funny because they use like English voiceovers for the characters. So some of them don't even go with the character, which makes it fucking hilarious to me.
That's
So
awesome.
it's like a dark show, but it's like also like I'm laughing because of the voices. They're like, okay, this lady doesn't sound like this fucking white lady.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really good.
Cool, I'll check that out.
I also started that Steve Martin show on Hulu. I've been liking that one too.
Yeah, you mentioned that last
And
night.
then,
Is it like autobiographical or is it?
No, it's him and Martin Short and Selena Gomez
Okay.
are the main characters,
Awesome.
and they all live in the same building, and someone gets murdered, and they're like all into like true crime stuff, so they start a podcast on this murder, and they're all trying to figure out who did it. And Sting lives in their building too.
That's awesome. Just random.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sting the bartender in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like the Guy Ritchie films?
I don't know if I've ever seen him.
It's that is a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'll have
really
to check it out.
phenomenal.
Nice.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun, but I'm pretty sure Sting was the bartender in that too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's
How weird.
awesome.
Have you seen Ted Lasso at all?
I haven't. I don't have Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It looks great.
I
love
got
that.
I got a free
character.
3 months because I got a new iPhone, so
Yeah.
I've been watching it. It's really
Are you
good.
getting paid to say iPhone?
No,
Son of a bitch.
I should though.
Yeah.
The new iPhone. That's not even a new iPhone.
It's new to you.
That's an old one.
It's the same iPhone as all the other
Yeah,
ones,
yeah.
but it's just $400 or
It just
$500
runs
more.
faster, yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of people are like, "Fuck, I need this.
Yeah.
I need this to watch TikTok."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my old phone was starting to get slow and stuff, and I'm sure that didn't happen on purpose.
No. No. They've been sued for that multiple times.
Yeah.
That's
So Ted Lasso, yeah, Ted Lasso's great, and there's a comedian that I met years ago. She's like one of the main writers on the show,
cool. Oh, that's
so
awesome.
that's pretty cool. They just won a shit ton of Emmys the other day, so
That's cool, man.
yeah.
Now, you really enjoy the writing aspect of comedy as much as you enjoy being on stage. Which do you like more? I know it's supposed to be I'm the guest, but I always
yeah.
love to learn more about you.
No, I probably like I used to write like the writing process more, I think. But now I think I enjoy the performing more. It's gotten really hard for me to like sit down and write lately. I don't know why. But like, you know, I used to love it. I still love it, but it's just it's so hard for me to sit down and write nowadays. I don't know why. But I could do it like no problem, you know, when I was starting out and, you know, first 15 years of my career really. Like I could write every day. And now it's like I feel like I haven't had any good ideas lately, so it makes it really hard to sit down and write. And when I do, it's like, God, this isn't funny at all to me.
So when you're doing that writing, I know you've sent me some scripts to look at, which are fantastic. But writing in general, or writing like as a whole,
Writing jokes, like
writing. Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoy writing screenplays and sketches.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I've kind of I start over a lot, which sucks. But I still have all the ideas in here where I want to go with stuff. My problem is if I don't know the ending, then I struggle to sit down and write out all the other shit until I know the ending, you know.
And you don't.
And that's kind of how I write jokes. I always do the punchline first. I always know what the punchline's going to be, and then I'm like, okay, how can I set that up?
I understand that, but you don't have a writing partner right now anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mark's just not writing, is it?
Not jokes, not comedy.
No.
I think he's still writing screenplays and shit though.
Cool.
Yeah.
But you guys used to write together quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, especially when he was doing stand-up. We used to write together at least once a week usually.
That's awesome.
Like when he was in college and stuff, before I was really getting on the road, you know. But we had some awesome writing sessions. Because me and him were both one-liner guys, so it was so easy for us to write together.
Yeah, because you could do setup. That's
And,
awesome.
I still remember some of those jokes because I would write setup lines for him. He would write setup lines for me. My favorite one that I came up with for him was I remember sitting at a Village Inn and they had the sign that said how many people could be in there, you know. So my setup line for him was, I hooked up with this chick recently. She had a tattoo above her vagina that said occupant load 3. And his punchline was, that's not even the weird part, the fire marshal signed it.
That's fantastic.
So we would get together and write 100 of those, every time to get together.
Holy shit.
And then pick out our favorite ones and try them out at open mics and shit.
Are you, I don't want to date your jokes, but are you doing any of those currently, or do you ever bring them into rotation just for fun?
I've got...
I mean, if you're writing a couple hundred jokes a year, you figure 10-20% of those are pretty solid. Maybe more, but you guys...
It was way less than that.
Really? Oh.
A lot of them were inside jokes just to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Because we had to write a punchline for every single joke, even if it wasn't funny. So there were some that were just duds, most of them. I would say maybe 5% were funny,
But
usable.
you guys didn't do a whole lot of topical news stuff either, so you could do jokes that are kind of evergreen, they'll always work, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I still use a couple of them, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head any of them. I know I've still got some. I think I used a couple on my album recording
awesome.
from writing like that. But I can't remember off the top of my head right now. There are some that I haven't used in years that I still think about though. I wonder if that joke would work now, you know.
That's awesome. I wish I had a memory like yours. I went to an open mic last night, and when you and I were in Iowa, and that bartender had, the baby with her cousin or whatever, I wrote the joke that I was striking out on Tinder in Iowa, and I needed to be on Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
So last night I heard somebody say oh, they're trying to find love on 23andMe or something, and I pulled out my phone and I typed in Ancestry, and I was like, I wrote that joke in 2014. And I update it because you do an Arkansas or Alabama joke, and I always try and switch the states so that it's not overlapping and not getting too much on the incest down there. Not that you shouldn't address the issue.
Yeah.
but
They know.
But yeah, I'm some of these. It's fun to know that I've written decent jokes that people are taking the same concepts and still doing them. But I can never remember them because then I started going through I pulled a set list up from years ago, and it was jokes that I was like, fuck, I never did these on stage that I really regret not doing. Really bad. There's some really funny shit. But because I never performed enough, I never found my voice and my rhythm to deliver the joke the way I thought it needed to be delivered. You know, I struggle with that just in my daily life with anything.
I'm the same way. If I write a joke that has an act out,
Yeah.
that joke's not going in my act.
Son of a bitch. You're missing out.
I know. Like I was just coming up with one the other day, and I was like, I really want to try that out, but I don't think I'm gonna.
You absolutely need to.
I know. I just need to stop being such a pussy.
Yeah.
But here's the reason I can remember all my jokes is because I have them all. So I name all my jokes, you know, and I have them in categories. Like, so this you can't even see it, but I'll show you. Like, this is from my comedy album. These are all
Yeah.
the jokes that are on my album. And they're all, like, in order of, like, you know, different categories and shit.
See that?
So then
is
these are
phenomenal.
all jokes that aren't on the album. Like, old jokes, new jokes, and all kinds of shit. So that's how I memorize everything, is because I've got them all here, you know.
So
Like-
I get stuck. A lot of people say, you know, oh, I've got ADD or ADHD, and they don't really understand what it is. And I've gone and been evaluated for it. I passed or failed the test, however you want to look at it. And you see me try to organize my sentence. I do similar to you, but I title a note card,
Yeah.
you know, marriage, and I write the joke out. And I always try. Somebody told me a long time ago, you want your set to be linear, because I don't do the one-liners. So start with single, go to married, go to divorce, do the dating jokes, you know, blah blah blah, do the child jokes, do them kind of in a linear fashion.
For sure.
So I got stuck in that, and I felt like I was beating a dead horse when I'm doing 3 or 4 jokes on divorce, and it didn't feel as fresh or as fun. Or, I mean, you've been up there and heard some of the feedback when we've done shows together, like, oh, you guys got to be nicer about women. They're fucking jokes, man. Like, I don't talk about all the cool shit and all the women I really love that broke my heart. I talk about the people I met on Tinder.
Yeah.
But I try to organize them, and I knew, you know, when I found out you were coming back in town, I'm like, I should get my shit together, and maybe we'll go do a mic. And I got so overwhelmed with the thought of doing that that I never opened my backpack.
Oh, really?
And so all my jokes are still sitting there. And then I get the idea maybe I should almost shuffle them, like take a couple from each category, split them up, you know, bite-sized pieces. Because like you say you have to write a joke with the punchline in mind, and I just kind of have an idea. And for me, I can't pick whether I like the setup spoken this way, or the punchline spoken this way, or which joke works for which crowd. And then I'm like, okay, if I write the same joke 3 different ways for like an early, middle, or late show, I get overwhelmed with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've seen
fucking hard,
in
man.
text when I send you messages. I'm like, I like this joke, and here's 3 possible punchlines.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're all kind of funny. They're not great, but I don't know which one to use, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah. Actually, here's one of the jokes I wrote with Mark. So his setup was always fall for those impulse buys at the grocery store, and my punchline was, but the ones at the porn store are even worse. Do I really need another butt plug keychain? And I think I added on to it. No, I don't. It always falls out. Something like that. I'd say, take that, Richard Gere.
Of Mice in Men. That's what I was always hoping his memoir would be.
Oh, that'd be great. They could Photoshop that.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Do I really need another book?
Yeah, I haven't told that joke on stage in years. But I've got it here just in case, you know.
Yeah.
We
That
gotta
joke's
make it-
topical and bottom. That's not even a word, but I was trying to think of a good bottom pun for that. Good ass pun.
I was in Colorado Springs at Looney's one time with my ex-wife, and there was an open mic, and someone was doing a joke about Orajel, and I had just told her a story about Orajel, and this guy's not the same thing I was telling her, but pretty much like using Orajel as lube. I was like, man, what's up with people talking about Orajel today? Is it topical? but I was getting a haircut, and the dude found out I was a comedian, so I just like opened the floodgates for him to like just talk about whatever the fuck he wanted. So he was telling me about his boss and his boss's wife. They're getting it on or whatever, and she used Orajel to lube up her butthole so he could stick it in her butt. And I guess later on, as her butthole's really numb, she shit herself.
But you know, there's a genre for everything.
Yeah.
Like, he could have made 2 videos out of this whole experience and made 20 grand.
I know, yeah, he could have sold the fucking.
I outed myself last night at the open mic. There was a really funny comic up there, and she said something about she's a teacher, and her student logged on to the Zoom class when they were doing the COVID shit, and his name was Fake Taxi. And I'm the only one in the crowd laughing, because apparently young people don't have trouble getting laid like I do, and I'm very well familiar with Fake Taxi. I laughed pretty damn hard. It like took her off her rhythm. I was the only one that, yeah, fuck. Porn doesn't get pregnant. Porn doesn't give you an STD.
That's true.
Like, yeah. You fast forward through all the boring stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like, foreplay, what?
Yeah. No thanks. More like foreplay.
Yeah. Oh, I love that topical thing. My brain's bouncing around a little because I'm still anxious. But I had written one. I love those kind of like zingers, but I'm not very good at those on stage.
Oh yeah.
The other day was came up in my Facebook memories. This a lot of I don't do many cuckold jokes because they're too observational or something to that effect. I absolutely love those kinds of jokes.
Yeah. You help me with the wording of my joke where I go, I always forget to do it on stage. My dog likes to watch other dogs lick peanut butter off of me. He's a Cocker Spaniel.
I think that might have been. I think we tried to do the exercise like you and Mark when we went to Frolic up here in Westminster.
Oh yeah.
And we were doing that back and forth, and we had a blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't remember any of the stuff I wrote. I remember not being able to read your handwriting and thinking one joke was something else, so I wrote a punchline that totally fit to what I thought it was, but
which
made
works.
0 sense to what the setup was.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing I like about an exercise too is like it really gets your brain working like a lot.
Yeah.
So there have been several times where I'll be trying to think of like a setup line to write for whoever, and I just come up with a joke on my own, and I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Little one-liner.
File that away.
Yeah. So that's always fun. I think I do have that notebook still from when we wrote together. I'll have to look for it when I get home and look through it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We came up with some really, because we did 3 or 4 that weekend. I remember because I Snapchatted you and we had the Taylor Swift fucking documentary on the computer while we were writing at one point. And then, we went to Frolic, and I think we had taken some edibles and took an Uber up there.
Yeah.
And, that was a really good time.
Do you remember I don't know if you remember this. I remember I brought it up to you one day, and you hadn't remembered. We were getting an Uber back from your buddy's house, and the dude driving was a foreign guy, and he switched his music to, it was like a heavy metal cover of Garth Brooks, and it was fucking terrible.
You texted me that, and I have no clue. And the buddy Kurt's talking about, we smoke a lot of dabs over there, and I was drinking pretty heavy from about age 18 till last year. So a lot of gaps in the memory. I do not remember that at all.
It was a short drive, but I remember.
Yeah, it's a mile to Mike's house.
Making a joke about it when we got out. I was like, that seemed kind of racist. Like I've never felt like this before.
Do you remember? I don't want to out you. I'll just say mushrooms were consumed at the Legion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went home, and that dude. We had a female Lyft or Uber driver. I don't remember. I think I was using Lyft at the time, and her boyfriend was in the car. I was like, cool. Which one's the fucking insecure one? Because this is awkward. And it was like the greeting. And it just went downhill from there.
Yeah,
and again, it's a 2-mile ride. And
I
you
remember
said
that.
I was just
that was so
dick.
funny. Yeah, we've had some fun ones though.
Oh, it's always a good time.
I remember one lady was super cool. I think she was driving us back from the Improv. Maybe. It seems like we were at the Improv. Maybe not though.
I usually drive us to the Improv.
Yeah. Yeah, usually. But I think there was one night where we Ubered or Lyfted together.
I've had some fun experiences in Ubers and Lyfts. And one of the most fun was Colorado Springs when we did the Dab Lounge.
Oh yeah.
A really attractive girl picked us up with the
Oh,
1-year-old,
yeah.
and she was a lesbian eventually.
I remember that.
I know you understand that.
Yeah.
And that was when I started leaving stupid reviews for drivers.
Oh really?
Yeah, I left her 4 stars, and I said it would have been 5 stars, but she farted real loud and refused to roll the window up so I could bask in it, or something to that effect.
Gross.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I love it. The Dab Lounge. I remember not even smoking anything and getting fucked up there.
Oh, that was something.
My God.
The hotel you booked that we stayed in, I literally brought in a hatchet and put it on the toilet while I was taking a shower, just in case it was sketchy.
I don't even remember.
I think that was the night I texted you that joke a while ago because it came up in the memories.
Oh, the couch thing?
The couch. Does this couch fall out to a better audience? Holy shit. And it's so... The Dab Lounge was so much fun, but it really fit the stereotype that you had to slow your jokes down.
Big time.
And you had to wait for the laugh.
Uh-huh.
And you couldn't do a callback.
Oh, fuck no.
No, they didn't remember 8 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
But Ben was always a pleasure to work with.
Uh-huh.
He's just a great dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he still doing comedy? You know?
You know, I kind of went through a weird phase and deleted like 800 people off there.
Okay.
He might have been because I didn't interact with him a whole lot.
Yeah.
Or he may have deleted his Facebook, I think, when the place got raided.
Oh, really?
John was off Facebook for a while, John Brown. But I don't know. I definitely hope those guys are doing well. I see John's doing a lot of stuff with Loonies and producing some shows, which is great.
Yeah, John booked me on a show in Pueblo, but then it got canceled, and then he just offered me one in Walsenburg. But I'm in Tucson that week, so yeah, he's still doing a lot of stuff. Looks like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
He's got a weird poker card addiction right now. You notice that?
Really?
Yeah. Do you follow him on Instagram?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if it's specific to bicycle playing cards or just playing cards in general.
Oh, really?
He's been on a rampage with those. It's pretty cool.
Huh. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. What's do you have like a favorite show that stands out in your mind that you've ever done? Like a favorite time on stage or something like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had some cool moments for sure. When I first started, I think any comic when they're eager in starting and you're around creative people, it really influences that.
Yeah.
And I would usually get to the second round of contests down in Comedy Works, which was pretty substantial for me in my first and second year. Those were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed those contests. I've had some really drunken nights. I mean, you know Ron really well. There was a night in Wyoming within my probably first year of comedy. We got a ride home from some strangers after the bar, which is always safe. We were doing Tuskers.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, things went south. And so we bailed at a gas station near the hotel and I had to get my bag out of the trunk. And this girl had put her car seat in there to take me around to the hotel. And it was just a super awkward situation. So when I took the bag out, I took her baby's car seat out. We fucking walked back to the hotel with this thing. And the next morning I wake up, I look over at the stand and there's a car seat. So I text Ron, who's in the next room, I'm like, why is there a car seat in my room? He's like, you don't remember? I'm like, nope. And we packed up and left. The improvs were fun shows. You helped get me in there when Amy was booking that.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time you got me hosting was with Finesse.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I don't think you were on that show, but Were you?
Yeah, I was on that show.
Yes.
Yep.
There, and then we did Chris Porter together too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jerry Rocha.
Jerry Roach. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, I love Jerry.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Those have been fun. I didn't do a ton of one-nighters. Tucson was always very welcoming.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I haven't done it. I understand Casey's booking a lot more involved in booking now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. I'll be there in a few weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. I'll let my friends know Curt's birthday is actually today.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll remind them. I've always had fun with you at the winery.
Yeah.
The winery for those that don't know is off season up in South Dakota. Jesse Carter used to book it, handed it over to Curt, and the owners were really into the comedy aspect of things. Were really into the entertainment, and they got pretty good crowds up there.
Oh
They
yeah,
were
great
fun
crowds. Yeah.
And they were always pretty generous. So it was a good time. I loved going up there with you.
Yeah, it's always a fun trip. You know, get to see Mount Rushmore and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, just a cool scenery.
Me and Zingelman did it. Me and David did it. David Gray. I've taken Mallory up there to shows.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
before anyone bitches at me for being a shitty parent, because I obviously talk a lot about my ex-wife, she had headphones on, the comics like Curt, and James would go over and make sure the volume was up on her
Yeah.
DVD so she wouldn't hear them. Yeah. Those shows were fun, but I never had any like epic moments. My first like headlining gig, so to speak, of was a little dive bar in Thornton.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the kid that booked me now. Yeah, it was. I don't even remember it.
Oh,
You know,
really?
I was drinking and was stupid and making a ton of money doing real estate, so
Uh-huh.
I never really understood comedy to be like a profession that I was going to pursue. So it was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of just fucking around.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've never had times where I've gotten off stage and been upset that I've done the gig or that I was up there or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's always been very favorable and a lot of fun.
Uh-huh. One of my favorite memories was
Michael Winston.
yep.
Wits End, oh my god.
So Don was hosting at Wits End Comedy Club, which closed down sadly. Fucking love that club. Don was hosting there, and Michael Winslow was performing like a month later. So like, oh, make sure you promote Michael Winslow. So Don goes up there and goes, hey, Michael Winslow's coming to town in October or whatever. You might recognize him from the Police Academy movies and Nothing Since.
Such a dick thing to say.
You always did shit like that. There was another one where you, I don't know if this was on stage or not, but you're like, I don't remember who the comic was, but you're like, he'll be arriving via coattail. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Wasn't it Eddie Murphy's brother? Charlie
Yeah,
Murphy?
yeah, that's right.
He's
That's
coming
right.
downtown, right?
Yeah. Yeah, was that off stage when you said it? I don't know. It was funny either
Yeah,
way.
because that was Comedy Works.
Comedy
I'd
Works,
never
that's
hosted
right.
down there
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
I had really cool opportunities. So a lot of people didn't realize, and Deacon and I became really good friends.
Mhm.
I was actually one of the first people he told he had cancer again.
Yeah.
A couple years prior, his mom had had a stroke.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned, as a realtor, you know, having a kid 50-50, he's like, hey, does anybody have a car I can borrow? He just kind of put out one of those help me posts. So I hit him up, so what do you need? He's like, I need to get to Oklahoma. I said, cool, let's go. Get some gas for me and let's roll.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really know what was going on. Drove his ass to Oklahoma, met a good buddy of his, a childhood friend, Tim. And we stayed at Tim's house, and his mom had had a stroke, and she wasn't doing well, and we thought this was it. So we wanted to get out and see her. We listened to so many comedy CDs back and forth.
Oh, cool.
We had a really good time. He made a mix. I still have the Oklahoma Mix 2015 of CDs. He was very into music, very, very, very approachable guy.
Mhm.
And so he kind of let me know the inner workings of how he developed the list for new talent nights,
Okay.
which I would do pretty regularly on the sign-ups, and he almost always got me out in June on my birthday,
Uh-huh.
on my birthday week. And as I started to go from the C to the B, he started putting me kind of in between the newbies
Yeah.
to make sure that there wasn't too much of a lull, which I
Uh-huh.
felt was kind of an honor. I wasn't
yeah.
enough to get to the A's to start doing the 4 minutes and
Uh-huh.
the 5s and the unpaids, and he knew from our friendship that it would not have served the club well to continue to progress. It would have helped me tremendously,
Yeah.
but that club has the progression at the time. I don't know how Elliot and I can't remember who else is running it right now. They may be doing the exact same thing, but
Mhm.
Deacon just kind of hovered me in the B spot. But he would put me in between new people before or after national touring acts
Yeah.
that would come out and fucking crush. And of course, then my set would crush because their energy is still so high
Uh-huh.
that I could just go around and
Yeah.
those were a lot of fun, and Deacon was I'm very grateful for those experiences.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have such great memories of Comedy Works, like just even the new talent night, like, cause I met Deacon before I even moved here. I met him, I think I met him at the Lions Lair or some open mic.
Yeah.
And he knew who I was and stuff, which was cool. So like when I did move to town, he gave me great spots like all the time on the new talent night. Which I didn't know what the great spots were, but
Yeah, there was
Jake
a
Sharon always
rhythm,
pointed out, like,
yeah.
he's like, dude, you got that spot? That's fucking awesome. And like, you'd always point that out, dude, that's awesome. Or like, he would just have me host, like, if I just went in to sign up on the standby list. He's like, hey, you want to host? Yeah, sure.
And you're a great host, too.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
man. I used to
Oh.
suck at it.
Ah.
But the memory popped up the other night on Facebook. I was hosting, and this guy was a newbie, and he goes, I'm gonna go out on stage in my underwear, and I was like, don't do that. He's like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, it's not gonna go well. He's like, that's all I got planned. I was like, you have no jokes. He's like, no. It's like, all right. So he goes up there and fucking just eats a pile of shit. I don't even know what he's doing. But Deacon's like looking at me, and I was like, dude, I told him. And then Josh Blue comes back there, and he's like, what the fuck is this idiot doing? I was like, dude, I told him not to. And I was like, his clothes are over here. So Josh fucking wads up his clothes and opens that door and like chucks him outside. So the dude eats shit, and he's like, his face is all red, and he comes off stage. And I was like, told you. And then he's like fucking looking around for his clothes, and he sees him outside.
It is hard enough to get on stage with a joke you think is going
Right?
to be, like, it's funny, but you don't know if you can convey the funny.
Yeah.
Because people, you say you don't like to, like, add stuff to the joke with body language, but I think it can really influence
Oh, for sure.
the crowd's reaction.
Absolutely.
It's so hard to get up there just on your own as a comic, but to go
Uh-huh.
up in your fucking underwear with no plan.
Nothing. Yeah. I don't know what he did at all. Like, I don't know
Hopefully
what
he
said.
quit ever. and
Oh, yeah, we never saw him
yeah,
again.
Good.
Yeah.
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 That's
But
not.
Deacon, like, fucking, I've never seen Deacon yell at someone before. But he was, like, not quite yelling at him,
Yeah.
but he was just like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you?
He did give me shit, and there was a comic in town which I think everyone hates me, and I really don't think she's a fan of me, but she had my back on this one. I would do a joke where I said, I hadn't gotten laid in a while, and I went out and I didn't know what I was doing, and I bought a blow-up doll. Well, I bought a Mexican one, and it came with a neck tattoo and 2 babies, and he fucking hated that joke. And the other comic on the show, and I would still do it, just for fun. And I would do that joke always in the green room notes. I really don't like that joke. And this other comic's like, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit,
Uh-huh.
thank you. But I didn't think anybody in the scene gave a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they may not have to like you, but they'll defend a good joke.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
And thinking of some of the other fun time, Sushi High with you. When
Oh.
you took that edible. Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck, dude. That was a rough one.
That was a fun night, but you were doing the improv either that Same week.
Well, I did. I was actually supposed to be going back to Albuquerque, but John at the Improv asked if I could feature on Saturday for
Yes.
John Morgan, I think.
Yeah, because you mentioned to Chuck Roy, oh man, I've never gone on stage high before.
Yeah, and he was like,
Never occurred to me not to.
yeah. yeah, I don't. The only thing I remember about the set at Sushi High was making fun of the gay waiter.
Yes.
But yeah, I emailed John the next day. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry about last night. And he had no idea what I was talking about, so I was like, okay, I didn't eat shit.
Yeah. No, you were great. You
And
did
then-
laugh at a joke you didn't tell, which was a lot of fun for me. Because I knew your set really well at the time.
Yeah.
And you were just doing 5 or 10. Like, it wasn't a
I think I was
whole
doing
set.
10, yeah.
So I guess I know we're getting long on time. I guess one of my highlights was making Rick Kearns laugh.
Yeah.
That to me, like, felt like I could write a joke.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a dumb joke.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually one of my favorites. But we were at Sushi High. He was in a back table, looking out from the stage. He was on the left, sitting with a group of folks. And he said a joke, and I made him laugh. And I was like, okay. Like, I feel way more comfortable now.
Uh-huh.
And making you laugh in Arizona when we were down there for that Army base.
Yeah.
And I reworded your joke backwards.
So funny.
You know, that was a good experience.
Yeah.
So many awesome experiences in comedy really don't always happen on the stage.
Uh-huh.
You know, because the stage it's unpredictable. Karen's in the crowd,
Oh,
fucking
God.
drunks, but hanging with comics is so much fun.
Uh-huh.
Especially the ones that are hungry.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ones that are really still trying to do it. The ones that are encouraging. The one like
yeah,
Patrick.
it's hard to hang out with the bitter ones sometimes.
Yeah, they're just always angry. Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, the crowd just didn't get it. No, they fucking got it.
Yeah.
It's your jokes.
Yeah. So I know we don't have, we already went past time, but I still want to ask you like who are some of your favorite comics growing up, and who are some of your favorites now?
So, one of my earliest memories was like the Damon Wayans special, where he was in that gold tracksuit or
Uh-huh.
jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And I just remember really liking it. He was obviously very animated early in his career. And just bouncing all over the stage. He was doing an MC Hammer impression. That's how old these are. And that kind of sparked my interest in comedy. And my parents, not being very attentive, but supportive, were like, here's George Carlin. Here's, this and that. And for a while, I really loved George Carlin. And I kind of felt that he was a little cynical.
Yeah.
But then I guess that really added to it, because I think he's a phenomenal writer, there's no doubt. He just saw the world a little different than everyone else. But he also really perfected his craft.
Yeah.
And he rehearsed and he tried, and he got every bit of every sentence was intentional.
Yep.
It wasn't off the cuff, which was great, but it felt off the cuff. It felt like he was just riffing.
Yeah.
But it was so.
So yeah, he would rehearse. He would go in an hour early or whatever, rehearse in the mirror at whatever venue he was at, do the act outs and everything exactly how he wanted. So Tim Gaither was telling me, the guy who runs the Comedy and Magic Club was saying that he would. So he's got this thing in his. I don't remember what special it was, but he'd point to the right side of the crowd. Even if there wasn't someone in the crowd over there, he would still point over there.
Everything was precise.
Yeah.
Well, it kept his rhythm, his cadence, and the words and the order he would remember them was just remarkable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was fun. George Carlin, I don't think there's a comic alive that hadn't been influenced by George Carlin. Bill Cosby, he obviously turned into a monster, or was always a monster. But, hilarious.
Yeah.
He was so approachable in his comedy. It was so clean, so much fun. And then I just kind of drifted away from comedy. And when I came back to it, was kind of, when I started doing it, started seeing the crowds. of my favorite people to watch downtown and locally is Ben Roy, for sure.
Mhm.
I just love the way he gets the crowd in a frenzy, and knowing Ben, not so much personally anymore, but knowing some of his little nuances and his personality type, to see him as that person on stage is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to work with him in Tucson for a weekend.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
I hosted for him in Tucson one
No
time.
shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
Gary Hood yelled at me that week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he did. I was doing some gay jokes, and it's like, my gay cousin wouldn't appreciate that. I'm like, well, it's a good thing he wasn't here. What the fuck to tell you? The waiter who's gay loved the joke.
Yeah.
But I love watching Hippie Man.
Yeah.
I love watching him. He's just so fun to see. So polite, so encouraging.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love working with you. I'm not excluding you from that group, but we've talked a lot about ourselves. Some of the people now, I haven't been out, I haven't seen the scene a whole lot. Anybody that's not afraid to speak out against the norms, which seems to be a woke norm lately.
Yeah.
Somebody that's just willing to say shit that's funny. Who's the comic I saying?
Mark Norman?
Mark Norman.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Dude.
3 CDs.
Great.
Just couple repeats on the jokes. He's young,
Yeah.
But his material, there's something approachable about him, despite some of the material being what you would consider like offensive right now. But I love listening to him.
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. I really love Tom Segura. I just like. It pointed out, though, the contradictions in comedy for me on one of his last specials, where he opens up with a drowning a puppy joke. You go to an open mic, you're gonna get kicked out of the fucking room right now.
Yeah.
With these local little, I'm fucking cool. But if you're big enough, you can say what you want. Just let the comics say what they fucking want. Let them develop that.
Yeah. Because when you're first starting out, especially like male comics, I've noticed, they kind of write jokes that are going to shock you a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how I started out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how most of us do, because we don't know any better, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember some of my early jokes, but yeah, a lot of them were fucking totally across the line.
Yeah. But if you did them now, or if you did them in a different context, or just changed a word, you can get it to fly because your confidence is gone.
Yeah.
Because you've got 28 other minutes, 58 other minutes of solid joke. You can start to pepper those in and get away with it.
Yeah.
But if you walked into an open mic right now and did
I kinda want
Tom's
to.
joke,
I kind of want to go to an open mic and just, tell some of my shitty jokes.
I wish you would have
just
come
to
last
see.
night, man. You would have destroyed.
I should have.
There were some great kids. I say kids because Jesus Christ, some of them it felt like maybe their 5th time on any stage.
Oh yeah.
And the host, I guess I haven't said where it was, so fuck it. He would get up and say some stupid ass intro about every comic that wasn't rehearsed, that wasn't funny, that wasn't natural, that would set a comic up, and like the entire, probably 30 comics last night. I was like, man, it'd be really cool if Deacon was here to be like, here is how you MC.
Yeah.
And when you're not funny like you are, okay, please welcome to the stage your next comic.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off the stage. Don't come up with something stupid, none of that shit.
That's what, when I lived in Denver the first time, a lot of the open mics were hosted by like real professional comics, Like Baxley was running the Lions Lair.
Yes.
That was fucking amazing. And Greg Baumhauer was doing the Squire?
Squires, yeah.
And, Sam and Roger took over the Lions Lair after Troy stopped. Like, just some fucking great hosts,
Yeah. They can get the room.
I miss that.
They can get the room set, and now it's like if you got a fucking PA system, you're getting a room.
Yeah.
And you have zero experience. I looked up some of these kids. They're like 130 friends on Facebook, and I'm like, great on you. Like, there were some solid performers last night that I could see 3 to 5 years easily featuring big time, having a good time.
Yeah.
Super confident, really well written jokes, and it was a lot of fun. But this host would just come up and regardless of the energy, fucking stop the train.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Just, this isn't your time. You got the mic probably because maybe I don't know his story, but you're probably not getting booked at a lot of other places. But just do your material up front.
Yeah.
And
Or do it at the end.
or do it at the end, or in the middle, just not in the middle of every comic
Yeah.
you're bringing up, because I'm by no means recognize what a good comic is like and how a good show should run, but I know what a wrong show is.
Yeah.
And this was one.
Yeah.
You know, unless, you know, I pitched you an idea the other day, unless the crowd's in on something, it's not going to work.
Uh-huh.
And unless there's an intention to it, this guy was just off the rails and it bummed me out because it would really suck the energy out of the room.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite open mics I ever saw was in Austin at the Velveeta Room. They had a speed mic, is what they called it, and they didn't have an MC that would come on stage. They would just sit in the back, and the list is posted, so you know where you're at, and then whoever's on stage, their name pops up on the screen. They say, all right, next up is blah, blah, blah. They get up there, they do their 3 minutes. The person who's next is like standing on deck, so they're ready to go.
That's
the
awesome.
MC's in the back like, all right, next up is blah, blah, blah. And they come up, their name's on the screen.
It gives the comics their recognition,
Yeah.
gives them their chance, gives the crowd no prejudgment of who's
Yeah.
getting on stage.
Uh-huh.
You know, he a couple times last night, I just met this comic today, and the comic would go, yeah, we've met like 5 times.
Yeah.
Or they keep getting better every week. Like, I didn't know I sucked last week, but thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
It was just,
yeah.
it was awkward.
Yeah, it's like if you add all that time up, like, it's probably like a good 20 minutes of wasted
Yes.
time.
Yeah. You're taking away from people really working on their craft.
Yeah.
You're ruining the crowd.
Uh-huh.
You're taking revenue away from the bar, which they're there to get new people in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was brutal.
Like I saw this band one time, like this guy, they're really good at marketing and shit, and I went and saw him play in Albuquerque and stuff. And, the singer of the band, he comes up to me after the show, and we're just kind of hanging there. I was a little tipsy, and he's like, "Hey man, what'd you think of the show?" And I was like, "Honestly," I was like, "the songs are great." I was like, "Just shut the fuck up in between them." I was like, "You wasted a shitload of time saying nothing."
This isn't a rap album.
And
You don't need an intro and an
I was like, you could have
outro.
fucking squeezed in 2 more songs if you just shut the fuck up. And I was kind of mean about it. And he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." Like
Yeah.
really appreciative of the. I was like, I came to hear music, you know. I don't give a fuck what you're saying in between.
Yeah. You got to be there for the right thing. You
Yeah.
know, like the people that come to a podcast, they listen to people talk.
Uh-huh.
You go to a fucking show, you just want to hear whatever art you're going to see.
Yeah,
Whether it's music
yeah.
or comedy, just get to the fucking point.
Yeah, and it's so fucking annoying him talking. It's like, shut the fuck up and play, dude.
You're right to be angry. Like, if you go into something with a context,
Yeah.
expect that context.
Uh-huh.
If you go to a comedy club and you hear a sermon about Jesus,
Yeah.
you got a fucking issue. You can say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
If you go into a comedy club and you hear an offensive joke about Jesus, well, I'm sorry, that's where you're going to hear it.
Uh-huh.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame that I see the comedy clubs posting pictures, you know, and posting warnings. A comic may be offensive.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not offensive, then you're just kind of commentating on life.
Uh-huh.
You're just drab.
Yeah.
Like, that's supposed to be the safe. Where's the safe place for fucking humor?
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know because I haven't been doing much in the last 2 years, and you can speak more to it. Are the crowds more sensitive?
Yeah.
Way more sensitive?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What do you contribute that to?
Oh god. I wish I knew.
Do you think it's a year of being stuck in the fucking house watching the news and all the
It
horrible
could be.
things
It could be.
and being taught to hate each other when there's literally we're all in the same fucking struggle.
Yeah.
To a degree. I understand people do have it worse, people have it better.
Uh-huh.
But you're not supposed to drag the people that have it better down. And, you know,
And crowds are getting dumber also. It's so weird. It's just there have been clubs that I've been going to for years, and like just the crowds are fucking amazing. Now they're just like, I don't know if I want to go back here. You know?
are they still drinking as much and spending money on merch and they just don't get the comic part of it now? Is
Yeah.
it just an impulse
Yeah.
thing?
I mean, Yeah, I think the merch sales are pretty much the same, and it seems like people are still drinking and spending money and shit. It's just I don't know. It's hard. It's I mean, I know some of the clubs made people wear masks, which sucks because you can't tell if the person's laughing or not.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking weird. But yeah, just
I guess there's something to be said with like a lot of neighborhoods evolve typically every 7 to 10 years.
yeah.
So you have a different income class, different educational class, and if the comedy club is well rooted and everything around it's changing,
Yeah.
then it's going to be more difficult. They're not moving with the times.
Yeah.
There's I won't say it that way. There's clubs I'm familiar with that if they moved 4 miles west would change their cash flow, it would change their level of crowd, it would change the level of comics they could attract,
For sure.
but they're still in older neighborhood, higher crime rate, lower parking
North
areas.
Academy in Colorado Springs.
So like 4 miles west or north, where the city's growing, not falling apart. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then sometimes the change is probably good. Like, I bet there's clubs, I think you mentioned somebody wanted to open one in Albuquerque. It's probably the right time for it.
Yeah.
It really probably is. And it was when Russ had one, and then it went away, and now it's probably the right time. If they go in the right neighborhood.
For sure.
Like Matt had that wonderful showcase at the Dam Bar. That was a blast.
Yeah.
The crowds were great. The people were fantastic. Like they could appreciate a comedy club right now.
Yeah. Definitely.
It would be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I know we're running a little long, but shit.
Yeah, we probably should wrap it up.
You got here last night and I was busy, so. What do you, like, you get to pitch yourself too, it's your show. What do you got coming out?
I usually record something and add it on, but I've got, me and my friend Holly Bird are starting up our Dancing in the Dark show again. We're going to do it every Monday in Albuquerque. Super excited for that. In October, I don't really have a lot going in October now. I've had some gigs cancel.
COVID?
Yeah. That's why I try to only book mostly comedy clubs, because a lot of these one-nighters will either have a hard time finding staff, or they're just like, we're not gonna do comedy. So I mean, the main booking I have in October is Laughs in Tucson, the 29th and 30th. And then, so the rest of the month I'll be doing Dancing in the Dark, and then I might have something in Arkansas. Still waiting to hear back on that. And then October 1st, I've got that show in Albuquerque at the American Legion Post 13, which is a fundraiser.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I always appreciate that.
I love performing at American Legions.
We had a blast when you were up here.
Yeah.
You and Ron and
Yeah.
Andy. It was fun because we've kind of, you and I haven't really fallen into now, but you and Ron have, and me and Ron have, and then it's all kind of coming full circle. And it was a fun night. We raised several $1,000s. I don't remember what the final number was. First 3 rows were so drunk, I don't think they saw the show. They were drunk before the show started, which is typical. It was a lot of fun.
Glad you're in the way. We haven't talked to Buddy yet. You got anything to plug, Buddy?
I don't. I'm
I was talking to Buddy. There's Buddy's ass right in the camera. That's awesome.
What an asshole.
I don't really have anything else to plug either. Just a couple shows here and there, but
Yeah. But you had a pretty good summer for things breaking back open. You had some fun gigs.
yeah, August was great. And I took a couple weeks off and then hit the road again. Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
That's cool.
it's been fun.
What are some of your comedy goals for 2022?
Well, we've got a tour that we're planning. I don't know if we're supposed to mention anything yet, because we don't have like a name of the tour or anything like that. So, but if it all goes well, I think it could be pretty good.
Awesome.
Like definitely a good show. like fucking really funny comics.
Yeah, I know who you're
Super
talking about, and
excited,
it's
yeah.
gonna be.
Insane.
Is it gonna be like a round robin with the headliners? Like they're gonna take turns, or is it set? And
I don't even know.
You guys haven't even gotten that far.
I guess they had talked about it and then added me in, so
Okay,
I'm just cool, like happy to be a part of it, you know.
that's awesome.
If it happens, so. But yeah, hopefully it does, because that would be cool. I might be starting a podcast with Tim Gaither soon. That'd be cool.
Wrestling?
I'm not sure.
Comedy, or a little bit of everything?
Probably a little bit of everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but comedy goals, I mean, I think I'd probably like to headline a little more, just to, because it's so fucking different than featuring. It is so different. Like, because I headlined Laughs in Tucson last year. I did the 2 days after Christmas. And it's, like, the first night was so tough because, well, there's a number of factors went into this, because I hadn't been on stage in over a month. Hadn't done a 45-minute set in probably 2 months. Had to follow Craig Gass. It was fucking awesome. And, plus I drove all day.
Yeah.
So it's like all this shit, you know, and then, but it went pretty well. Like, I was happy how it went, and, you know, I filled the time, no problem. And then Sunday, I had a full day to, like, really work, you know, go over my shit, and had a really good set Sunday, so.
That's awesome.
But it's so different than featuring. Featuring is the fucking easiest spot you could do.
I've always heard it's the bread and butter. You don't have to
Yeah.
remember all the bullshit.
You don't
Plug
have
in
to
the
host,
club.
you just
Yeah.
walk in, you go up, do your set, do your 20 to 30, fucking
Yeah.
chill out.
You gotta be, you know, one of the worst experiences I had as a MC was a comic out of the Pacific Northwest who comes up and goes, "You can't do that joke, it's too similar to one of mine."
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, you know, I wrote it a long time before you did," but he's like, "Well, I'm doing a tape." I'm like, "You're on the fucking road all the time, but I'm just a little bitch MC
Yeah.
who barely had 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And this was a good minute and a half. He's like, "You
Yeah.
just can't do it." What am I supposed to do? Yeah, so then I'm like trying to slow my cadence down.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always had these chunks, and I'm like, "You're the fucking headliner. You got more than an hour
Uh-huh.
of material banked. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. And you're gonna rob me of like 2 minutes of material when I'm just starting out."
Yeah.
It was kind of a dick move.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
But that's what the headliner gets to do.
Yeah.
If they're that kind of headliner.
Yeah.
But yeah, the feature spots, you know, you've got me in an instant blast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, headlining, man. Like, the check drop, holy fuck.
Brutal.
I was not ready for that.
I think that's the merch time, isn't it? For a lot of
Yeah,
for
yeah.
merch comes.
Well, it actually worked out because, like, I was about to do a math joke anyway, so I was like, hey, this is a perfect time for
Nice.
that.
That's awesome.
So it worked out pretty good, yeah. But yeah, it was, but yeah, there's
Troy Baxley have a good one with the check drop.
Yeah,
It's like,
he
who
does.
ordered the tax?
Yeah, but then if he didn't like the crowd, he would go, yeah, you know what I like when I'm paying my tab? Little tab paying music. And he just start humming into the microphone like, paying my tab. And he would just fucking drag it on as long as he could.
Another, it's $500 foot long.
Oh yeah.
That pops in my head easily once a month.
Oh, me too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wish they could reissue his CDs that are recorded, because the recording quality was so poor.
Yeah.
And the jokes were so good.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Lifetime C-Stu.
Oh god. Dude, I don't know how many times I've mentioned that on the podcast. When I first worked with him in 2003, I remember the exact dates, dude. September 30th is the day I met him, 2003. And we had to do Espanola first, the casino. And then we did the Weekend Laughs. But it was Tuesday night in Espanola. And I remember watching him. I never knew who he was or anything. And I'm just watching him like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like the, my vagina's so big it could rip the toenail off an elephant's foot. Dude, when he said, you're gonna bruise my meat curtains, bitch. Dude, I fucking laughed. I almost pissed my pants. I had to miss part of his set 'cause I had to go pee. And I was just like, fucking hey, this guy's so funny. And I remember at the end of the week, he gave me one of his CDs. And he signed it and everything. And, dude, I listened to that fucking thing like every day for like a month.
Was Anal Bruise Purple already on there?
No, Anal Bruise Purple came along a couple years later.
God, that's so weird.
God damn, yeah, I was opening for him, and because he was like in the middle of a joke when he was like, and he's kind of like walking around the stage, and then you can see him like looking at the backdrop there, and I was like, and then he stops the joke, and I was like, oh fuck, what's he gonna do? And he totally interrupts the joke, and he's like, all right, here's my impression of the comedy club owner at the paint store before he opens the club. He's like, all right, I need like a forest green for the walls. Then I'm gonna need some cool flames for the stage for my comedy all stars. He's like, let's see what can we do for the backdrop. Do you have Anal Bruise Purple? Oh, it's so fucking funny.
So goddamn funny. I went up with him and Jason Keys to the winery. Just fuck around. And I was just bored. I drove him up there and he crushed, as he always does. And it was just, it's like watching, for me, like enjoying music. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, they always said it, when he plugged in his guitar, he wasn't plugging it into his amp. It was just like his soul. And that's how I felt with Troy.
Oh yeah.
It was just something had.
I wish you would have seen him even before then.
Yeah.
Because he was just fucking unreal.
I hosted for him once at Looney's, and I introduced him. He's at the back of the bar, fucking talking, or back of the room talking to somebody, not coming to the stage.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like 2-3 years into comedy, and I'm fucking frozen on the stage because I don't leave an empty stage. I want to shake his hand.
Yeah.
He's just having a fucking conversation. The crowd's like, what the fuck? They're looking at me like I have a goddamn answer. And I'm just deer in headlights, like, what the fuck did I think this is gonna come back on me. Comes up, walks up over the stage, doesn't use the stairs, doesn't acknowledge any of it, and just goes into material.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
One of my favorite times seeing him was so this guy named Bob Strange was opening for him. Bob was like this 60-year-old dude from Dallas. First time ever hosting at Laughs.
Awesome.
No clue what he's doing. And first night he goes up. He's like, hey, this guy was voted Black Entertainer of the Year in 2006. Please welcome Troy Baxter. And Troy goes up there and he just looks at him and he goes, thanks for that intro, dipshit.
Oh, and it's gotta fucking just crush the dude.
Oh, dude, that's so fucking funny.
I fucked up Chris Porter's name, his album name, while you and I were recording with him, but he fucking blamed you. And I was like, I'm alright with that.
Yeah. Well, we kept fucking with it, didn't we?
No, I just got it wrong.
Well, no, because we were making fun of his album title, I think. Or we were coming up with other album titles, because his album title was just like 2 words, like angry and ugly or something.
Yeah.
And then so we just kept coming up with different titles. Like tall and lanky. Like just dumb shit.
It's so great because my introduction to him was within the last 3 years of, really getting to know who Chris Porter was.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great comic, but he's got on Tubi, he's got a 45-minute special on Tubi.
Yeah.
And it was back like the Stoner era.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Stanley's got an hour on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Tubi,
wow.
yeah. It's really good.
Huh. I'll have to check it out. I really like watching Greg Warren's specials on there, I liked. And then Chad Daniels has a couple.
Yeah, I just watched that the other day. I think I sent you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your brain is shit.
Shit. Your brain sucks shit. Dude, he's probably my favorite comic right now.
When you told me his writing routine, I knew I was never going to be a comic.
Yeah.
I knew I would never headline. The work he puts into it.
Oh,
Plus, his off-the-cuff remarks, like, he is so goddamn funny in the moment. Like, he can just riff on it.
Yeah.
Fucking
He's
bury.
one of the, he's quite possibly the funniest person I've met in person. Like,
He's the one that ate your Baconator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because I got him hooked up with my buddy Jarrett. So he was on Jarrett's podcast and he told that story. He told it a little wrong though. So he said Burger King. Burger King doesn't have bacon here.
No.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's funny. He just seems like he would be a fun dude to be around too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he told he was telling the story on that podcast because Jarrett asked him about, he's like, you seem like you're really confident on stage, and so he's asking him like where he got that confidence from, and he said that he's talking about the show he was doing in Illinois or something, and the crowd wasn't really digging him, and he knew the next joke he was gonna tell, like he wasn't sure if they're gonna like it or not, and he said he could feel like a single bead of sweat forming, like, in his middle back, and it just starts dripping down. He could feel it all the way to his ass crack. And that's when I kind of flipped for him, where he goes, I'm just going to tell the jokes I want to fucking tell. If they don't like it, fuck them.
If I had that switch, like I'm in a dark room. I can't even see the goddamn switch.
Yeah.
That's how far off I am with confidence.
Yeah.
If I flip that on, I wouldn't even give a shit about getting paid for a little while. I just would want to go out and say some of the stupid shit that I've written down over the years. Like I looked at my set list last night for just random ideas, and I'm laughing my ass off. And I'm showing my friend, and she's like, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" And I'm like, "It's funny here, but when I get up there, something doesn't quite come off right." And part of it is just a tall white guy with a deep voice. It's more commanding than hilarious.
Yeah.
And that came from like the military, being in charge, and being a dad, and always having to fucking set a boundary. We're on stage, it's supposed to be more approachable, and if I could find that switch that he had, it would be so encouraging. It's so much fun.
Yeah, when it's going well, it's the fucking funnest.
It's fun.
Like, even if it's going mildly well, it's fucking a blast.
Oh yeah. Or when you say something that you didn't think was gonna work, or you didn't say it confidently, and the fucking crowd just gets it. I said it on stage at Comedy Works.
Yeah.
And I wasn't intending to. It was a dumb joke, and I just tagged it in the moment because I was terrified because it was a lull, and I could feel them waiting.
Yeah.
So I said, something about my ex-wife being a cunt, and maybe it was the C-word joke. I don't even remember at this point. I could hear the laughter through the monitor, and I was like, "Oh my god, I said something funny!" Like it hit me. I was like, "This is fun. I get it now for a moment. Like I can't hold on to those moments." But then I get off stage and I tell Deacon, I'm like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." He's like, "What?" I was like, "I said on stage at Comedy Works." And like, "Did they laugh?" Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like I thought that was like kind of a taboo word.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, it always works with hecklers, I've noticed.
Yes. There's not much you can come back to from being called a cunt. Like, there's not a lot. It's like you go through all the trauma your parents did to you to make you this person, and you're like, you're fucking right. I am a cunt. Like, you should kick me out of the show.
Yeah. My favorite was, I'm sure I've told you this story a few times, but Ben Creed was performing somewhere, and this lady just wouldn't shut the fuck up, so he just stops and goes, "Hey lady, did you see the marquee out front when you walked in? It said now appearing Ben Creed, not now appearing Ben Creed with cunt."
That's fucking awesome. Did she shut up?
I think she did eventually, but her and her friends had something to say after the show.
Of course it
Those are cunts.
The OG Karens.
Yep.
Oh, it's so horrible.
Yeah.
I got offended at a comedy show.
It's always women. It's always women.
Well, that's not sexist.
It is though. It's like every single heckler video that Tim has that he's posting on YouTube, but probably 90% of the time it's women.
Well, that makes sense because the male hecklers, as you remember with Matt Bessler and yourself, you almost got your balls cut off.
Yep.
And Matt almost got his ass kicked at Looney's.
Yep.
And it wasn't even a racist set.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just some angry black dude who came up to the stage unprompted to kick his ass.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that video.
Oh yeah.
I was recording that night before.
Oh no shit.
But I don't have that at all anymore.
Man, I had a video of a comedian falling down on stage, and I wish I still had it.
That would be so great.
So funny.
Especially to send it from like a random email address.
Exactly.
But I can't remember
I
this.
saw this.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh, that'd be so goddamn funny. I fell on stage
No shit.
2 years ago. I was at the Funny Bone in Des Moines, and I was hosting, and Lana Turner was headlining, and so I was like holding her hand to help her off stage, and then I tried to walk up on the stage without using the step, and that was a bad move. I just fucking fell right on my face.
It would have been perfect if you had hit your funny bone.
It
It would have been like, alright, I get it. Now I know where they get the name.
But yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
That's awesome. I wouldn't have been able to recover.
Yeah, luckily it was the end of the show, so it was like, well,
Oh, nice.
that was neat.
Yeah. You fell for the headline. That's awesome. Man. I know we're running late, dude, but I'm having a hit.
This has been a blast. We can always record more episodes too.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. We can. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
I've
part
had-
one, part two thing.
Yeah, I've had Jason Russell on 3 times and Tim on a couple times.
How's that working for your listener base?
I have
I'm
no
just
idea.
fucking with you guys. Love you, Tim. Don't know you, Jason.
You never met Jason Russell?
I know you and your family love him to death,
Yeah.
and have nothing but great things to say about him. I've never heard one of his jokes.
Oh shit.
Never seen him perform. He doesn't really come through Denver, does he?
No,
He doesn't do this stretch.
I think he does Loonies, but I don't, yeah.
And even then, he hasn't done it in a while.
Yeah. It's been a while.
When are you coming back to this? They headlined you last time, right?
I co-headline, yeah.
Co-headline.
Yeah, I haven't been booked this year at all.
Get on that.
I've been trying.
They're doing some really good shit with the marketing. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? Their advertising?
Yeah.
They stepped
Yeah, I got
up
a
their
new
game.
website and everything. It's
Yeah.
great.
The fucking coming soons are really great.
Yeah.
I love seeing Eric still have that energy.
Yeah.
He's been in this industry for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
He's dealt with some bullshit, but
Uh-huh.
that club is great.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of work into it.
Yeah,
Last
I
time-
always say it's my home club, even though I don't live there, but I've been going there since fucking 2003.
The last time I was there, I was like, dude, you're making this place too nice. You're not gonna be able to book me, and fucking foretold my future. I haven't been back since. I haven't tried, but yeah, it's great seeing that club come around. And they had the Gateway show down there. I have not experienced the show, but it looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You know the premise, right?
Uh-uh.
So I can't remember the kid's name that does it. I'm gonna call everyone a kid. Don't take offense if you're listening to the podcast, but the comics come out and they do a set, and then they go back stage and get really fucking high.
Oh,
And
okay,
they come
yeah,
out and
yeah.
do another set.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same jokes, new jokes, what the how that approach is, but it just seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because when you're stoned, you got the ideas come in fleeting, and you're trying to get them out before you think of the next idea. At least in my case.
Yeah.
Like there's so many times I've gone to start a text with you while I'm stoned and I think of something funny, and I can't hold the thought long enough to get the text out.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, fuck it. Like I had a half one 2 nights ago before you got here, and the first letter it was just mine. And I was like, I don't even know where I was going with this. I was walking the dogs. I thought of something funny. I was gonna text you, and the moment is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think that's a cool show. They're doing John Brown's hosting some shows down there. Or is
Yeah.
that his name? John Brown?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah.
It's really good comics there too.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it.
Well, cool, man. Like, what else? Did we cover anything? Did we talk about stuff?
Oh yeah, I think so.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
I gotta find those one-liners. We gotta revisit that
Oh yeah.
on another episode. If anybody
Okay.
listens to this and they wants to hear more of our bullshit or my bullshit, let
I'm
us
sure
know.
they will, yeah. Now you got shit to go
Yeah.
going on.
I gotta tell you, like, I'm excited for your 2022. I really want you to push for the headline this year.
Yeah.
really think it's there.
Yeah, I do too, man. I really, really need decent credits. I think would really help me out a lot.
Are they really checking them?
Yeah, I could lie, huh?
Yeah,
I could video edit
could
myself onto
Photoshop.
Conan.
Yeah.
They don't know. I could do Conan's voice too. Hey, Curt Fletcher's here. Is that anywhere near Conan?
You know, it all sounds the same to me with Conan.
I was like Conan and Jay Leno combined.
Yeah, that was awful. But Mallory and I, my daughter, are really into Futurama right now.
Yeah.
And they had an episode with Conan O'Brien's head in the year
Oh, yeah.
3000
Nice.
doing Y2K jokes.
Yeah.
Fucking Bender's just heckling the shit out of him. And he goes, Conan's like, I was walking here today, you know, it's just the head of the tank. And Bender's like, I doubt that. And Mallory has no idea who it is, but she got the premise that he
Yeah.
wasn't walking. It was
Yeah.
so great.
I love it.
Futurama was so good.
Yeah.
It was a really good show.
Yeah, anything that Matt Groening does is pretty good. I
Yeah.
really like I've been a huge Simpsons fan my whole life, but the new show he has on Netflix is pretty good.
Who's that?
What's it called? Disenchantment?
Yes.
Something like that?
Mallory is, I've watched all 3 series, like seasons, back to back to back to
Nice. I
back.
haven't seen season 3 yet, but yeah.
It's gotta be fucking up whoever's algorithm I'm using on Netflix. That's the worst part about sharing a Netflix thing, is been watching a show. You don't remember if you were the last one to watch it or if they were.
Oh, nobody, well, because you're logged in on my sister's account, so it's,
Yeah, and I'm under guest.
nobody watches it under guest except you guys.
Okay.
Because I've got my own, Hunter's got his own, and then my sister's got her own.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Good.
I was gonna go in there and put some funny stuff on your list though.
Awesome. Do it, man. Because I'm gonna forget all the
It's
shows
like all
you just
like World
recommended.
War II stuff. You're like, an algorithm's all like Hitler stuff.
It's like, I mean,
And
it's
then
becoming
FBI
more,
shows
it's
up.
coming more and more full circle lately.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you the really good Hitler joke last night. We don't need to
Yeah.
rehash it here, but that was really good.
Yeah.
That's one of my, you know, driving to South Dakota with you and working on your Hitler set. It's so much fun. And it sucks because it's such a niche market.
Yeah.
You can't do it everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done Hitler jokes in a while. But
Yeah, but the master, you said the last lady that saw your master joke.
yeah, this club that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. She loved it. Like you can hear her laughing on the video.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Which is really cool. She said she like rarely laughs at jokes anymore.
That's good. It's good to know the club owner's racist.
Yeah.
Now you got an in. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. What else? Is there anything else we need to cover?
No, I probably should stop because it's going to be a bitch to render.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
Just fucking hit it tonight before you go to your shows.
Yeah.
Or
You can do that.
It'll probably be done by the time you go on. You'll be gone 6 hours.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah, it should be done by then.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for doing it, man. I wanted to have you on earlier, but I wanted to do it in person, so.
Yeah, and you know, as far as going forward, I've got some legal things happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, when my attorney said, "Is this your Twitter account?" I fucking panicked. I was at lunch with a friend, and I panicked because I thought I was private. I haven't posted in probably 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, dude, you didn't send me a snapshot of anything or a picture, or what are you talking about? He's like, oh, it's not important, but it was fucking hilarious. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing you've said to me as an attorney, because I haven't met him.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't even met him
Okay.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
We had a phone interview, and we've exchanged emails.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, when was your last show? And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to get in, because I don't really remember. He's like, are you going to keep doing it? And I'm like, until you said my Twitter was fucking funny and gave me some more confidence, I wasn't. But now, who knows?
That's so funny.
Yeah, this has been a blast, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I don't post on Twitter as much as I used to either. There's so
Too
many
political.
fucking assholes on there too.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You've never been a big joke poster.
Not really, no. I always like doing it on Twitter though, for some reason. That's what, if I did do a joke, I'd always post it on Twitter for some reason. And I actually won an award one year.
No shit.
Yeah, I won best local Twitter to follow in Rio Rancho.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had no idea it was a thing, and some lady messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, you won this award, you want to come pick up your thingy?"
What'd you
I
do?
was like, wait, what's going on?
What does the best Twitter in Rio Rancho, what in an 8-mile radius, what is that prize?
I just got like a little plaque that said best Twitter to follow in Rio Rancho.
That's awesome.
It was not like a plaque, but a thing, like a framed little thing.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I had just left to go on tour, so I had my sister pick it up for me. And I was like, sweet.
Did you even tweet the picture and let people know?
I don't even know.
That's awesome.
But apparently I was fun to follow in 2018 or something.
I don't think, you said you need credits.
yeah, there it is.
You know?
There it is.
Hey, Eric at Looney's.
Yeah.
Best Twitter.
And Rio Rancho.
Everyone knows Twitter really transcends to the stage.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
All right, well, cool, man. Yeah, thanks for being on. Don Morgan, everybody.
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys that I know. Super nice dude, very funny. Just want to send thanks to my buddy John Singleton from Anesthesia for the outro music. And thank you to Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup for the intro music. And if you buy any merchandise from my website at funnyfletcher.com, go to the store there. And when you check out, if you type in the Rye Podcast, all capitals, no spaces, you get 10% off of your order, which is pretty sweet. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/in-the-rye-podcast, and I always post the podcast on there before I post it anywhere else, so you get access to the podcast first with no ads on it. So that's pretty sweet. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.